Hi, it's Tony Robbins again. Welcome to session number 2, Invincible Leadership, the Secret to Explosive Growth. Another big promise, isn't it? But ultimately, let's talk about this for a moment. We've said that Peter Drucker, one of the greatest business experts in history, a guy who could really help turn around and grow businesses, believed that all business really is this concept of innovation and marketing. That the more strategic you get about how to add value to your customer, to do more for them than anybody's doing, that's the ultimate competitive advantage. But only if you can also market. All this stuff, though, has got to be managed, right? Somebody's got to lead it. I mean, when you see a business and it's been around for decades and all of a sudden it starts to go down, what's changed? Well, for decades, economies went up and down. For that business to go down, what's changed is the leadership. In my experience of working with literally hundreds of thousands of business leaders, as well as millions of people, and God only knows how many companies over the last 30 years, the one thing I've seen is, if you have the right product, but you got the wrong people, people that really don't understand how to meet customers' needs, people that have gotten used to doing things the same way and they got bad habits, people that aren't hungry and driven, and if you don't make a shift with those people, you can take the best product and you can destroy that company with the wrong leader. On the other hand, I've seen over and over again companies where they had a terrible product, but they got the right leader or the right leadership team, and they found a way to make it work and to be it successful because they can adapt it. Leadership is the ultimate advantage. Now, who's a leader? Every single person in the company can lead. They can lead a division. They can lead change. They can lead progress. But ultimately, if you're watching this, whatever division or part of this company you're in, whether you're a small company just getting started, a middle-sized company, or a really large corporation, something that's been around and doing hundreds of millions or billions of dollars a year, individuals are how companies change. They change when those individuals find a way to add more value. Think about it. What creates a breakthrough in a company where suddenly that value is found, a new way to meet customers' needs? What creates a new marketing breakthrough? What causes someone who's been selling a certain way and all of a sudden they start reaching everybody? That breakthrough always starts with a change in psychology, a change in a person's beliefs, a change in their emotion. You know, they were locked into a mindset of this is how you do it, and it got old and stale. And one day they started to innovate. Or one day they said, you know what? The economy does suck, but you know what? It's not going to suck for us. You know, I've interviewed some of the top business leaders, managers, innovators, turnaround experts, salespeople. I remember one time years ago, I met this woman named Marty Rodriguez. She was at the time a woman who'd gotten in sales. She came to one of my sales seminars. I used to do these one-day programs of total immersion about how to get the economic edge, how to have the edge of influence. And I saw her for, I don't know, maybe it was the 8th time she'd been to the same seminar, sitting in the front row, taking notes like crazy. And I finally went up to her because I found out she was the #1 salesperson for Century 21 in the world. In the world. She was at the time selling more products, more houses per day than most people would ever dream of and doing in months. At one stage, she was selling more homes than the entire multiple listing service in the city she lived in Glendora, California. I mean, this woman, I watched her do well in good times and horrific times. In good times, everybody joined and she still outdid them. In bad times, everybody quit. All the mortgage brokers, all the realtors, and she had this open market to get more of her brand ownership. And when I talked to her, I said, what are you doing at this seminar? I mean, you've been to this thing, what, 8, 9, 10 times, 7 times? How many? She said, I've been here more than a dozen. I said, you're in the front row for 12 hours taking notes like crazy. I mean, you sell an average of 1 home a day? She said, yeah. I said, then you're losing a sale today. I said, I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but why are you here? Because underneath it all, I thought I knew the answer, but I wanted her to say it. She said, Tony, I could go out today and sell. I could go out and just do my business and do better than most people. But how do you think I got to be #1 in the world? My entire focus is creating breakthroughs, Tony. You know this. She said, I can keep doing what I'm doing, or I can come here and I can hear something. And even if it was the same thing I've heard so many things that I'm not applying. You say it yourself, Tony. Repetition is the mother of skill. If I hear something the first time, I might start to understand it intellectually. And that's the mistake you hear from most people, right? They, oh, I know this. If you're not doing it, you don't know it. Don't lie to yourself. If you're not getting the result, you're not applying it, you have intellectual understanding. In intellectual mastery, That's helpful. It's a first step. But understanding something cognitively and thoroughly saying you know it intellectually, that and $3 will almost get you a Starbucks. You got to have more than intellectual understanding. It's got to become emotional. And that's what she said. I get in this environment with these people, total immersion, and the emotion hits me. And she says, I hear the stuff again, the repetition, I get it in my body, and now I start to follow through. Repetition is the mother of skill, but you can't just think it, you got to feel it. Where were you on 9/11? I bet you can remember vividly where you were, because you didn't just have information, you had information that emotion was attached to it. Where were you on 7/11 of the same year? I bet most people can't remember unless something really emotional happened that day, your birthday, a breakthrough, whatever the case may be. The point of the matter is, you got to go from intellectual and emotional mastery to doing it enough that it gets in your body. That's what we want to do in this program. We want to introduce you to some concepts, get you started on this path, and get it in your body so you actually follow through. That's why we also created a way for you to listen to this on audio. First time on video so you get immersed, but then you can do it with net time. No extra time. When you're driving in your car, when you're going on your run, when you're working out. So the sales tool or the negotiation tool or the way to get the meeting or the way to manage your time or the way to grow your business, it starts to get inside you. That's what masters do. Breakthroughs, again, are breakthroughs in psychology. They're breakthroughs in emotion, because that's what changes your actions. That's what this first DVD is about. So on the surface, you might say, oh, you don't get to the core stuff. Well, if you want to do that and you think core is what to do, go to the next DVD and immediately find out the 3 ways to grow your business. But I'd hesitate. How often have you known what to do and not followed through? Let's take a little time. Just this one. Pretend you're in a seminar. Put yourself into it. The people that paid $20,000 or the ones that paid $65,000 for the platinum version, those individuals, they did every exercise. They took notes like crazy. When someone said do an exercise, they didn't just watch the tape. They did it. They got it in their body, and that's why they got results. That's what I want to encourage you to do as well. Does it make sense? Great. And hopefully you've already watched the first DVD that explains how to use this program. It's very brief. You might want to take a look at that if you haven't already. But if you have, let's get you going right now. Here's what we're going to do. Before we start the actual, quote, seminar, the way we started out live is we have everybody sit down first, and I want you to do this now. I want you to make up your wish list, your action list, your outcome list. Here's what I want you to know. With you, or you and your team, whoever's here, I want you to take 5 to 10 minutes. Before you go any further, I want you to stop this DVD, and I want you to write down every change you would ideally like to make in your business, every improvement, every transformation, anything you'd like to master. And I mean anything. It could be something related to sales, marketing, management, time management, some way to change the culture, some way to influence people, how to turn your team around, how to turn yourself around. I want you to write down any challenges you have in the business, any problems that need to be solved, any goals you want to achieve, and specific things that need to be changed. Make a list. Ideally, if you have some other employees with you or other partners or associates with you, jot them all down for please 5 or 10 minutes, share them with each other, and then turn this DVD on and begin the seminar. And again, pretend you're there. Step in, yell back to the screen, because that's what's going to keep you in a peak state. Research shows if you sit back passively like this, you won't remember 10% of what we talked about. But if you write down notes, if you'll yell back the answer, if you'll be playful with this, your energy will be strong, you'll be like you're in the event, and it'll make a lot of sense. You'll be in a place where you get real results. All right? So stop the tape right now, stop the DVD, write down any changes in this business need to happen, any improvements, any problems that need to be solved, that's your ideal wish list. And here's what I can promise you. In these 32 DVDs, and these 3 sections, this first group of 8 where you're going to go through and get the psychology and the plan, the change, the group with my partner Chet Holmes where you're going to go through and go, how do we go from 0 to 100 million or $1 billion? What are those strategies? With the experts we have, the answers are there. Plus, remember, you have a coach available to you who can get on the phone and walk you through how to get to the next step. All right? So this is just the setup. Stop the DVD. Come on. Write down your list. Don't just jump in there so you know why you're doing this. What are you looking for? What's your outcome? What do you want to change? And then why do you want to change it? Why is it so important? If you made those changes in your business together, what would it mean? What would it mean financially? What would each one mean? Put a number on it. So what do you want to change? What do you want to improve? If we made the change, what would it be worth to us physically, emotionally, financially for this company. And turn on the DVD and I'll be arriving back, but this time I'll be live at the seminar in Las Vegas with 500 business leaders from around the world, and we'll begin your process. All right? Live strong, live with passion. Let's begin the process. Stop the DVD now. Hi, it's Tony Robbins again. Welcome to session number 3. What are the only 3 ways to grow your business? The way to create geometric growth. Listen, we've talked a little bit about philosophy and strategy of changing your state and getting peak performance and how to maximize resources now. But if we're going to go beyond the leadership to the mechanics now, we all need a plan. In fact, if you work with one of our coaches, they'll tell you that trying to have a business plan, like a 5-year business plan today, is a joke. What we really need more of is a map. Because the world is changing so rapidly right now. The economy, technology, change happens more rapidly than any time in history. All of the information that we've ever accumulated in the history of mankind over thousands of years now gets doubled about every 3 years. And it's happening faster and faster. So today, to think I know what's going to be like 5 years from now is ridiculous. But what I do need is an overall map. A map that can answer 5 questions for me, and that ultimately leads to what this DVD is about, which says, these are the exact 3 ways I'm going to grow my business in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. And here are the numbers we're going to do it by. Because what's really ironic is it doesn't matter what business you're in. Again, whether you sell B2B or B2C to consumers, whether you're something you're selling a product that's, marketing a service to businesses, whether you're in a place where you're doing real estate, whether you're selling high technology, whether you're exclusively on the web, whether you're selling to the government. Doesn't matter the process. There's only these 3 ways to grow your business. So we're going to introduce you to those 3 ways. And here's what I want to make sure you do in this particular session. And I won't keep showing up each time to interrupt this. From now on, you'll just start your sessions. But I wanted to mark this one out because if you just listen to this DVD and go, oh, this makes sense, or yeah, I know that, you're going to cheat yourself big time. What you want to do is take what we're talking about that we've tried to make so simple that people won't fail to follow through. They'll do what's necessary to get the result. This DVD is really the result of a 25-plus year relationship with a dear friend of mine, Jay Abraham. These 3 distinctions came out of a time I remember sitting down with him doing this interview and saying, gosh, Jay, you and I have worked with so many businesses. You've been with tens of thousands of businesses, all different kinds of industries. And you've noticed there's only so many ways to market. There's only so many ways to change things. But, realtors tend to do it one way, and people that sell B2B do it another, and some people in the travel business do these big organizational meets. There's so many different ways, but you've learned how to cross-pollinate them. You've learned so many strategies for increasing a business, but people get overwhelmed when they hear too much. And we both want to give them everything. What if we started them out with just 3 things that were so clear, everyone on the team, after they understood this and did the math, could figure out in their own business the map to go from where they are to where they want to be in the next 6, 12 to 18 months, and they knew in their gut it was real. If we had to break everything down to 3 things, what would those 3 things be? And I'm not going to reveal it. You'll see it in a moment. They're real simple. But when you focus and you do it, your entire business changes. I've done this over and over again. I've taken over businesses that were in bankruptcy and turned them around, transformed them 35, 50, 75, 100%, sometimes 250%, literally in less than 12 months. I've done it with my own businesses, and I've helped other companies do it as well. So I want you to really do this. And if you want to go deeper, again, your coach can walk this through with you afterwards, but don't leave this DVD. When it's done, do the homework. Sit, write down with your team, calculate the numbers, get the answers that you need, and most importantly, write down why. Why are we going to do this no matter what? Remember, reasons come first, answers come second. If you get a strong enough why to do something and what you've laid out can work, if you know why to do it, you'll figure out how to do it. That's what this is really about. And one other thing, when you do talk to your coach, you might ask them about the 5 questions that help you build a business map. One of those questions you really got to know is, what business are you really in? What business are you really in? Some people, the old adage, people in the railroad business thought they were in the railroad business, didn't realize they were in the transportation business. They were the richest men in the world, and trucks were being made by Ford. They could have bought all of Ford for pennies, a small percentage of what they owned, but they thought, no, we know what business we're in. We're here in the railroad business. You know the adage. and they're no longer around. Those guys went from the richest in the world to some of the poorest in the world because the game changed. Today, the game changes a lot, so you got to keep asking yourself, what business am I really in? What do I really need to do for my customers? Second question, why am I in business? If you have a business map, you got to have the reasons that are going to keep pushing you. Why am I in business? Why did I get in business originally? A lot of people tell me, new business owners will say, I got into business so that I could have more free time. Good, that's like saying I like to have a child so I can have more free time. Why did you get in business originally? Why are you in this business today? You got to have the reasons that are going to make you succeed and follow through. And also, where's the gap between where you are and where you want to be? Why do you want to be here? Where's the gap? How are you going to close that gap? Third question our coaches will walk you through is the question, and by the way, you might want to do this even before we start if you want, and that is, who am I really in this business? There's three kinds of people. There's the person who is the incredibly talented, gifted artist. Somebody who has a special skill. That's what starts most businesses. They were this incredible genius in software, and they thought, why should I work for this company? I'm going to start this thing myself. But what they love to do most is create software. They don't manage people very well, and they don't manage the risks very well that an entrepreneur takes. They just keep wanting to do that, making that product. And if that's your skill, you want to make sure you spend more time doing that, and you get some good managers, and you get a great entrepreneur as a partner. Are you the kind of person who really loves to manage people and processes? If that skill, every business needs you. But you got to own that skill and make sure you spend most of your time effectively managing, not trying to do things that really, you're not the artist. You're not the skilled one in that area. It's not your total talent. Your talent is the people and process management. Are you the entrepreneur? Are you the person that wants to take big risks and you're willing to put yourself on the line, your money, your time, your energy? You're constantly figuring out how to expand this and shape it. Every business needs people that are great artists, great talents, great skilled individuals. We need people that are great managers, and we need great entrepreneurs. It might be important for you as you work with your coach, as you create kind of your business map to go, what business are we in today? What business do we need to be in? Why did we get in this business originally? Why are we in it now? Where's the gap? Who are we? Who are the best artists, talents, people with gifts? I mean, Kobe Bryant has an unbelievable gift. He makes, $27 million a year? The manager that everybody wants to be makes about $7 million a year. The entrepreneur lost money with the Lakers last year. So some people think being the entrepreneur is always the answer. Figure out who you are and how to spend more time with that. That's what our coaches can help you with as well. Fourthly, figure out where you are. Where you are means, where are you in your own life cycle? We all have seasons. A springtime of our life, our youth, we just got so much energy, you can just burn it. You don't have to think about it. A summertime where we start to figure out how to apply ourselves, maybe in our 30s to our 40s. Maybe a fall, an autumn where we're in our 40s or 50s, maybe early 60s, and we're in our power. You've worked hard in the springtime, and you worked hard through the summer, and you've mastered so much. So you really now in that place where you're starting to reap rewards from all those years of commitment. Or maybe you're in winter. Maybe you're post-60s or 70s or 80s, and you're now the elder of the tribe. You're a person who has value that you want to give. You want to mentor people. The reason I say that is you're going to look at your business or your management or the way you run in this business differently in your 20s than your 30s, than your 40s, than your 50s, than your 60s or 70s. Does it make sense? Right now, I'm just kind of planting some seeds before you start this process of your plan to remember that it's great to have your plan, but how you're going to apply it is based on what business you're really in and what business you should be in. It's based on why you're in it. That's going to get you to follow through and drive and knowing where the gaps are you want to close. It's based on who you are. Are you that person that creates the product? Are you that person that manages the processes? Are you that entrepreneur? And it's for where you are. Where are you right now as a business? Are you brand new? A little toddler just getting going? Are you a teenager? The company's growing like crazy, really fast? Are you a young adult where you're starting to say, okay, we got to do fewer things but do them better when you put systems in place? Are you in a position where now you're in prime? The business has systems and we're growing our sales and our profits. Are you a company that's aging? Again, these are things that our coaches can go over with you that I want to plant the seed with you on, because if a company is just starting to grow, you got to manage it differently than if the company is mature or aging, if that makes sense. If the company's brand new, you got to do things very differently. Where are you? Where are you in your own life cycle? Where are you in the business life cycle? This is what we teach in our business mastery programs as well. We take 4 or 5 hours on this. In fact, most people say that understanding their business map, understanding where they are in the business life cycle, knowing they have to do different things each time, we ask people to put a value on it. We've never had anybody say that that day was less than $1 million. So if you can come to Business Mastery, we'd love to have you, or get with your coach and let them start to explain to you how to decide when to do what based on where you are. Where's your industry? You know, one of the companies that I have was in the television business, in the infomercial business. We started out that business, to give you a sense, when it was fairly new. I was one of the first companies in that area. And we grew with my partners at Guthrie Ranker Corporation. And we expanded. And that industry grew, and we were the top of it, and we did incredibly well. And I still have some infomercials. I still have them. They're quite successful. But the industry is aging. I could be in my prime. My product could be in its prime. But now, very few people watch an infomercial. When we started out, there were 35 or 50 channels. Now there's 500 channels and nobody watches them, right? We all get it off Apple TV, or you get it off your DVD or DVR, I should say. You know, and most people aren't watching television. They flip through the commercials. They skip through that area. It's hard to be ubiquitous when there's 500 choices and very few people even looking at all 500 choices. So now, even if we maximize our business, we have to know the season. What stage? Where is the industry? Which means you want to get out of that and get into how you utilize the internet as an example, which is part of this program, by the way. So think about where you are in your life, where you are in your company, where you are in the life cycle of your industry, and maybe take a look at where we are in the life cycle of even the economy. You know, there's winters when things are a little tougher. You have to do things differently than springtime when everybody just has total optimism and they go. Again, I'm telling you this because your coach can walk you through it. And when you're thinking about your business and you want a business map, these are some of the questions. And finally, the 5th question is, what's next? Once you know what business you're really in, once you know what business you need to be in, once you know why you're in business number 2 and why you were in it originally, why you're in it now, what's going to drive you and where the gaps are, once you know who you are, and you make sure you get the right talented people and the right managers and the right entrepreneurs working together with the same goals. Once you know where you are, so you can maximize wherever you are in your life, in your company, in your industry, in the economy, then you start to know where to go next. Now that seems like a lot to put in front of you, but I just want to plant the seed. So if you wanted to before you began, you could answer these 5 questions, and there's a little worksheet in front of you. But if you want to forget all that, if you say, Tony, I don't want a map. I just want a real clean 3-step process that we create that's based on real numbers, that's going to grow our business by 1/3 in the next 6, 12, 18 months, or 250%. That's what you're going to get in this next DVD. All right? I won't be jumping in anymore. You're just going to be going through the program from out here. But I just wanted to plant that seed with you that business plans for 5 years, forget it. Get a map. A map will show you when things change, here's still how to get there. And if you want a map to really work, take advantage of your coach, because they know the map really well, and they can help answer some questions and guide you along the way. And we want to maximize results for you and for your organization. So thanks for listening. Let's get started with what are the only 3 ways to grow your business. How do you get geometric growth? Let the journey begin.